Hey guys, so I'm making another video, to answer some more questions and, cover some things. Like I said, I'm going to be making more videos, um, so that you guys can keep up with everything that is happening in my life, epilepsy-wise, and seizures, and college, and things like that. So, I got some questions that, well, I'm gonna be looking at my phone just so you know, so I can answer these questions. And my VNS is going off right now, just so you know. And I also apologize for my, look, what's it called? How I look right now. Whew, okay. I just woke up and it is 1:27 in the afternoon. And I'll cover that. So, I'm sorry, this is bugging me. Whatever. So, I got a couple of questions, and I just wanted to answer those, first. And, so the first one was, do I feel that epilepsy is ruling my life? And I can answer that right away, and the answer is yes. And it definitely, is a huge part in my life right now. Over the years, it hasn't felt this extreme, but as I've been growing older, it has. I guess it's just because more things are happening in my life, being that I'm an adult now, and, being a teenager, being 13 years old, I mean, it was really hard, but I wasn't as restricted to do certain things that I wanted to do, just because I was younger. But now that I am almost 20, I am more restricted than I used to be. When I was 16, all of my friends were getting their licenses. They were starting to drive, and people would ask if I had my license, and I said no. And even now, people say, why can't you drive? And I say, what do I say? I've said I just don't want my license. That's what I usually say if I don't know the person. But if I do, then I tell them that I have seizures. And it kind of bothers me actually, because the reaction is just like, oh, I'm so sorry. And they act like, I don't know how to explain it. They act like they feel so sorry for me. And I don't like that. I don't like the fact that people are feeling sorry for me. I mean, yes, I have epilepsy. Yes, I am restricted. Yes, I cannot drive. And I admit that I do feel sorry for myself sometimes, and it's kind of hard. But when other people do, it doesn't help. And so back to being restricted. So, I cannot drive still, and I'll be 20 soon. I don't swim. I haven't gone swimming in a long time, but I definitely need to, I only have clusters once a month, but it's still good to be watched. But my clusters aren't, the type where I, can't control what I'm doing. I mean, when I have them, I just, clench my left fist and stare off into space. And so I can control where I'm going. So really, swimming isn't a big issue for me. But I have to be careful. I can't do a lot of things. And driving really is the big thing for me right now, because being almost 20 years old and not being able to drive, I mean, I know there are people with epilepsy who are 60 years old and they still can't drive. And so I'm trying not to complain, but it is hard. And, but it does help actually, because I do know some people who can't drive, or just don't drive because they don't want to. And so it does make me feel better knowing that I'm not the only one. But it doesn't make it any easier for me. And I try not to complain, but it is hard. Seeing everyone else around me drive, they all have cars. My roommate just barely, she has a car, and I had to rely on her to go shopping, to do anything, because we weren't that close to Walmart or any store. I mean, we were probably half an hour walking distance, and even if I did walk to Walmart, I couldn't carry all those groceries back, so that was out of the question. So that has definitely been more stressful for me lately. So yeah, definitely answering that question, epilepsy has been ruling my life. And, you see those things when, you type in epilepsy awareness in Google and you're trying to, be more aware. People make things that say epilepsy is in my life, but it doesn't rule my life. And that is true, but at the same time, it does feel like it is controlling my life, at least at the moment and for the past few years. And so that's been especially hard for me right now. Let's see, the second question. Sorry guys, I can't look at something else while I'm recording it. It won't let me. So I had to take a picture of it. What was the second question? Ruling my life. Okay, another question, was with the VNS, one of you guys has it, and, they said that sometimes they feel like, where the VNS sits, it's, tight, and the skin feels really tight and kind of hurts. And personally, I don't have that. I mean, when I feel it, it doesn't go anywhere. It just sits there. So, I mean, I haven't had that, but I did go, on Google and looked it up for you. And, I heard that there's a couple people, well, at least on the few websites I looked at, who have had that. One of the people said that, when they get stressed, on their neck, it tightens up and it feels like the wire, tightens up and is kind of uncomfortable. But once they're not stressed anymore, it goes away. So I don't know if that helps your question. So honestly, I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, it may just be your body kind of saying, this is weird. Why is there this piece of metal here? I would imagine that stress definitely does affect it, because your muscles, when you're stressed, your muscles tense up. And since it's sitting in muscle, or, it's definitely, I feel like that would happen. So, what's another question? So another question was, how are my scars, and do I put anything on them to make them fade or go away? My scars actually are looking very good. They're healing very nice. I don't currently put anything on them. I was thinking about doing it, but I sort of forgot. But I think I'm going to start doing it. I mean, I haven't felt the need to just because they've been fading on their own. If you see, I really need to get a camera, guys, because my computer is not the best. So, right there, that's my scar on my neck, and it's fading, pretty much. It just looks like it's in the crease, right there. And that's really nice, because when I first got it, for a while, I was at work. This was probably 1 or 2 months after I got it, and it was still red. It might have been actually when I still had the little, not tape, but the thing that they put on after the surgery that you have to keep on for a while, underneath the big bandage. But it was there, and even when I took it off, so I was a cashier, and so there was just this random guy who came in. I didn't know who he was. He's probably like 30 years old, and he just came in, and I was scanning his stuff, and then he just looks at me and says, "What's on your neck?" And then I said, "What do you mean?" Because it's like, why should I have to tell him? So I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Did you like get surgery or something?" And then I said, "Yeah, I did." And then he said, "Was it like a cyst or something?" And I said, "Yeah, it was." And he said, "Was it painful?" And then I said, "Yeah, it was." And then I just kept scanning his stuff, and I'm like, I don't know, that'll be like $39.95 or something. And then he left. And it's just, he looked at me with a judging look, like, why do you have that? I don't know, I didn't like the look. And so to this day, I think about that, and I don't like it. But yeah, it's definitely, you can't even really see it. I mean, if you look close, you can still kind of see it, but this one right here, I'll show you real fast. The lighting is kind of bad, but it's definitely still red. I mean, the around it isn't red, but the actual thing right here is red. And my sister told me that she's like an expert with skin, just because that's what she does. And she said that a lot of the time with women or just people who get surgery around here, it tends to overheal the skin. And so right here, I mean, you can barely see it. But with here, you can still see it. So she said that since it's like really bumpy, I guess the skin tends to overheal, which isn't bad. But that's why it's like that. She actually got surgery once to remove this bump, and it was right here. And over the years, it's definitely faded, but I mean, that was maybe 12 years ago. For a long time, it was red like this. But, yeah, so I might start putting oil on it or something. My brother-in-law works with an oil company, like essential oil type company, and I'm gonna ask him about what I could put on it to help that. I mean, because I'm not concerned about it, like, it's not bad. But yeah, maybe it could help it fade even more. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Let's see. Okay, so I just wanted to, oh wow, okay, this video is 14 minutes, and I'm sorry, but since you guys watch my other videos, I figured it's not bad if I go a long time, because I always do. Okay, other stuff. So as I was saying earlier, I just barely woke up about 15 or 20 minutes ago, and it's been a hard morning already, because my since I'm home right now because it's end of semester for college right now for me. Well, so my parents and my sister and my brother-in-law, so there's this elderly lady that we're friends with, and she has been living in a new kind of rest home place that was just barely built about 10 months ago, and so she was one of the first people to live there. But I guess today they're having a celebration, just with food and stuff, hot dogs and hamburgers, stuff like that, just to celebrate, being open for a while. So I was gonna go to that, but it was at 12:30, and my double vision, like I told you guys, actually I don't know if I told you this part, my double vision, I take my pills at 7 in the morning, and my double vision doesn't go away till 1 in the afternoon. And so when my mom woke me up at, I don't know, noon or 11:30, she said that she asked if I was gonna go, and I was about to get up, but my double vision was still going on, still pretty bad, and so no, I wasn't gonna go, and I really wanted to, but I couldn't, and so yeah, I'm still really frustrated about that because they're still gone, and I mean, they left at 12:30, so it's been about an hour, but it's just really frustrating me. So I am really hoping that in August I will be able to start lowering my dose for my trileptal so that my double vision can start going away. So guys, I'm really hoping so. So just wish me luck. I'm really hoping it will work to the extent that I will be able to lower that medication. Another thing I wanted to talk about was just the fact that, another thing. So, no matter how long I sleep, I am exhausted, okay? I've slept for 14 hours, not today, but I've slept for 14 hours before quite a bit, and I'm still exhausted to the extent that it feels like I've only slept for 3 hours. And, I get to sleep in a lot because at college I don't have morning classes, and I'll get to that later. So I was able to sleep in till like 1, and I would still be exhausted. So it's been really hard for me. Before, this used to never happen to me when I was little, even though I would get like 7 or 8 hours of sleep. But ever since I got diagnosed with epilepsy and have had to be on these medications, I have had this. And I think it's just the medicine or my body upset with me, I guess. And just my doctor, she said, well, over the years I've had to have my levels checked, like my medication levels, because with Lamictal, it's, you need to have your levels checked. So if you go up, you need to make sure that that the levels aren't toxic. So, and I've been fine. Like every time I get them checked, I'm fine. So that hasn't been an issue at all. I don't know if you guys are interested, but there's epilepsy forums online, and there's this one, I can leave the link below, but it's called Epilepsy Foundation, and it's basically a website with all this information. There's forums on it, and I love that website. The forums are for everybody. I mean, there's probably 100 forums, And I've been using it since I was probably 15. So I started out with the, there's a teen zone, and basically teens go on it with all their questions, and you can answer questions for people or start a discussion. And as I've gotten older, I started using young adults and epilepsy. But there's so many forms on there that you can, there's some for people who don't even have epilepsy, people who, loved ones in epilepsy. So even if you don't have epilepsy, it's okay. So yeah, I'm going to leave the link down below in the description box for you guys. I highly recommend that website because it just is amazing because you can let out your feelings and talk to people who actually are in the same situation as you. But as I was saying, I've talked about my double vision a lot on that website, and every time I bring it up, there's this one lady who, even though she's not a teenager, she decides to go on the teen zone and talk to us. That's kind of bothered me. But every time I tell her, or every time I tell the people about my double vision, and how it's been bothering me, she always tells me the same thing, saying that I need to have my levels checked. But that's not true because I have my levels checked all the time. And so it kind of bothers me that, because even though she's trying to help, she doesn't understand the exact situation that's going on. But this exhaustion thing is so hard for me. I went to bed probably around midnight, and then I watched a couple YouTube videos, and was talking to my dad, but then, I probably fell asleep around 1, and that's okay. That's actually really early for me, but then I woke up and I felt like I hadn't slept in 2 days. So it's really hard for me, and so I'm going crazy. I don't think it's as bad as it was when I was probably a freshman in high school, because when I was a freshman, I would wake up and I felt like I was going to die of exhaustion. It was that extreme. And it's gotten better over the years, but it's still very hard. So I don't know. It's been extremely hard for me. I also just wanted to hopefully quickly, since it's already 22 minutes, almost 23, I'm going to quickly touch on this part. So, I've talked to you guys about my college with epilepsy and stuff, but I just wanted to update with that real fast. So, I told you guys in earlier videos, that when I first got to college, I talked to the disability services, and how they gave me some letters. They typed up the accommodations so I could give them to my professors. And I did that, but I feel like that did nothing for me, because even though I gave them to my professors, I was only taking 3 classes because it's been so hard for me. But I have to retake science because I have to get a C- or higher for my major in that, because it's required. It's a foundations class. And I got a D. And I'm kind of ashamed, but at the same time, it's just been so hard for me. I think there was one other class that I have to retake. Well, I actually don't know my official grades yet, but another thing that I feel like for science for me, it was actually pretty easy, but the tests, for me, I was supposed to be able to take the test in the testing center in a separate room away from everyone else, because I think it has to do with my medication. I actually know for a fact that I get distracted really easy, and a lot of people would think it was ADD, but it's not. It's, I used to never have this, but I actually got tested for it. A neurologist, the psychiatrist, neurologist person tested me, and it's part of my medication side effects. But anyways, so I was supposed to be able to take them in a separate room, but the testing center was very difficult, and I ended up only being able to do that once. So the tests are what I failed in that class, and I'm going to have to retake that class this next semester, but this time I'm going to do it online. But this has been really hard for me, and I feel like the disability services did nothing for me, and I'm going to talk to them again, see how it works this time. But what else? Yeah, let's see. Sorry, guys. I took a picture of this, and I have to zoom in. So basically, I have no choice but to take afternoon classes because of my double vision. But it's really stressful because one of my classes from my major is an introduction class, kind of introducing you to your major, or my major. But the only one that's available is at 7 in the morning. And originally I signed up for it, and then I realized that's not an option. I cannot do that. So I'm not going to take it till next year, and hopefully that's when my double vision will be hopefully gone. And so, yeah, I need to take care of that. That's been really stressing me out. Sorry, guys. I definitely think that college has been pretty stressful. Well, I know it's been stressful, and it definitely for me, stress is a big trigger for seizures, so I think that it's definitely, I mean, I still get my clusters every month, but I feel like maybe it's been triggering more seizures. I mean, you guys know that the VNS has been helping me and everything, but stress does not help my seizures at all. Let's see. One thing that I really do not like is that my roommates and my friends there would complain about college being so hard, and dang it, I think people are home. 1 second, guys. Oh. We're going on a trip. This is awkward. And I am not a techie person, so I cannot edit this. Hooray. And now the lighting is going to be terrible. Sorry, guys. This is terrible. Dang. Okay. So let me finish. It's almost 30 minutes. Okay. Where was I? Basically, my roommates would complain about college being so hard, and their classes just so hard, and college is hard, okay? And they were taking more classes than me. I was only taking 3 classes, and they were taking 5 or 6. And I don't doubt that their classes were hard, and I mean, they had homework. But honestly, it's hard to explain how hard it's been for me. You guys know how hard it's for me. You guys who have seizures, you know how hard it is to be in stressful situations. Even though I was taking 3 classes, I still had to wake up, I still had homework to do, and it was hard for me. So I would try and explain to my roommates and tell them, but then they would say, Sarah, well, you only have 3 classes, come on. And they knew about my seizures, but they still didn't understand. Like when I would have to miss things for my double vision in the morning, or sometimes I have it at night after I take my pills, they would just think I was flaking out, or I didn't want to be social. I mean, if there were dances, they would say, Sarah, you're not social at all. Why are you missing all these dances? And I tell them, did you not understand the first 10 times I told you that I cannot go? And of course they say, oh, whatever, and they just brush it off. Anyways, it's been very hard for me. See, what else? Once again, I'm sorry. Okay. So, I'm hoping things get better. I'm gonna keep you guys updated. I am very glad you were watching my videos because I want you guys to, I make these so that I can kind of help you guys understand everything. I don't know. So, I will make another video soon, because I never run out of things to talk about with my seizures and epilepsy and my VNS, so yeah, I will probably make another video in the next week, or I'll make another one for sure if you guys have any more questions. I love answering your guys' questions. I'm sorry I talk a lot, but sorry. So yeah, if you guys have any more questions, leave them down below, and I will leave that link for you from the forums, the Epilepsy Foundation forums and website. So, you can subscribe to me if you want. That way you can get my videos and see them every week. And like the video if you would like. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. So bye.